Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to another new week. We'll continue our book reading this morning, The Toyota Way to Service Excellence by Jeffrey K. Leica and Karen Ross. Still looking at lean transformation in service organization. Last week, we looked at the introduction in chapter 2, which says the Toyota Way continues to evolve. That means they're still on the way to achieving excellence in every area of business in an organization. Last week, he went further to remind us that excellence is a process of striving to be better for each and every customer you meet. This is a process of trying to be better in your organization, trying to be a better person, trying to, do everything in a better way. So today we'll continue from there. Still in chapter 2, page 30, we'll be looking at developing Toyota leaders as coaches. Developing Toyota leaders as coaches. 3 waves. So developing people is the number one responsibility of every Toyota leader, from the president to the team leader on the shop floor. The Toyota Way to Learn Leadership provides a detailed account about how Toyota leaders are developed to be coaches. By coaches, we mean that they are responsible for developing both technical skills to do the work and the social and technical skills to lead improvement. There are certainly many administrative tasks that managers must handle, such as meeting budgets, hiring, doing performance appraisal, and participating in business decisions. But for Toyota, those form only the baseline of management. In fact, Volvo's Enias Goodmodson, introduced in chapter 1, quickly concluded that only time at the Gemba reflecting and working on improvement was value adding. When they measured the amount of time his management team spent at the Gimbia improving the flow of work, it barely registered less than 1% of the time spent. He set an immediate target of 10 hours per manager per week, which requires eliminating a lot of non-value adding administrative tasks. The long-term goal was 70% of a manager's time at the Gemba acting as a coach to facilitate improvement. Of course, sending people to the Gemba to add value is a bit like sending novices into the wilderness to learn to fend for themselves. What will they do? How will they learn? There is a definite skill set that is needed to be productive at the Gemba, the place where work is done, when you're not personally doing the core work. As Mike Rota concluded in Toyota Kata, there are 3 steps to the process of learning any complex skill, and this leads to the 3 waves of training within Toyota. 1. Aware of it, learning the principles of Toyota Way. 2. Able to do it, learning Toyota business practices as the concrete method for putting the Toyota Way principle into action. And 3. Able to teach it, learning on the job development OJD as the means of coaching learners through Toyota business practices. Wave 1. Teaching the principles of Toyota Way. By 2001, Toyota culture was fairly matured in most global regions. Still, unlike most companies that do not invest so deeply in developing people, every Toyota leader, even those with decades in the company, was required to go through Toyota Way training that lasted months, not days. Like all of Toyota's major training efforts, the Toyota Way 2001 training was developed and implemented using a similar sequence of steps. 1. The program went through intense development with pilot testing and Kaizen until it was considered to be of sufficient quality to spread broadly. Number two, senior executives were trained first. Several days of classroom training were followed by a 6 to 8 month period of practical application. During this period, the learners analyzed a case study requiring them to apply the principles of Toyota Way outside the classroom. Several weeks later, they reported back to discuss the case and agree on a project, which was the undertaking with a coach. At the executive level, the training was intentionally cross-national to encourage global networking. Projects were undertaken locally. 3. After completing the period of practical application, the senior executive presented a report out of project to an examining board composed of even more senior executive and subject matter experts. Often, some additional work on the project needed to be completed in order to pass. 4. After passing, the senior executive then take part in training their direct reports, including becoming part of the board of examiners as it was deployed within the organization. And 5, as the training cascaded from level to level, every executive and manager went through the same program, including classroom training, the completion of hands-on projects supervised by a coach, and the presentation of project reports out to a board of examiners. At lower level, the scope of project was more limited and may only have taken 3 to 4 months to complete, instead of 8 months taken by senior executive. Deploying the Toyota Way training this way was a long-term undertaking, working down through the organizations level by level, with the people at each level becoming the mentors for those who report to them. Took about 6 years to complete, and as new locations are added globally and new executives are hired, there's still a need to continue the Toyota Way training. So this is where we'll stop for our reading this morning. It said developing Toyota leaders as coaching. And this is based on the fact that they respect people and they want to continue to improve in every area of business. So as an executive in Toyota, whether at the lower level or at the higher level, you have to undergo training, either it's for 6 months, for 3 months, for 4 months, whatever period of time they want you to go through training, you have to go for that training, whether you are the administrative level or you are the managerial level or you are the executive level, you just have to go for a training. And there are 3 waves of this training. And one of these is to be aware of, that is learning, and in this aware of it, that is learning the principles of the Toyota Way. That is wave 1, where you learn the principles of the Toyota Way. That's learning about the principles of the company, what this company is built on, and the rest of it. And the second one is able to do it, learning the Toyota business practices. And the third one is able to teach it. So you have to learn to be a coach for other people. You have to learn as a leader so that you can be able to coach other people when they come into the company. So development is an essential part of the Toyota way to, continuous excellence. Like he said in chapter 2, he said the Toyota way continues to evolve. So there is training, continuous training and continuous development for every staff that works in the Toyota. It is done so that you'll be able to do your work well, and you also be able to teach others that are coming before you or those that work under you. So this is where we'll stop for our reading this morning. Thank you.